Coded message from Blue Dwarf. Written and recorded by David Ball, originally posted March the 22nd, 2011. At first, Efof had joined the crowd of people because he thought they were queuing for something good. When he realised it was the funeral procession for those crew members killed in the recent attacks, it was too late to leave. He did have friends who had been killed. He'd known Vanessa, Katrina and Harris pretty well, but Fionians didn't mourn like humans seemed to. They held a massive party and got drunk. Human funerals were so sombre and boring. The captain was there, of course. He'd lost his fiancée. Actually, it was his wife, Efof reminded himself. Also, he'd lost his sister. Efof waved frantically at Jay, who looked up, but tried to ignore him as he hung his head in sorrow. Efof winced as he moved his arms back to their sides. After one was shot off on the Red Dwarf, he'd grown a new one thanks to the miracle cure the humans called custard. As the service continued, people said some words about the dead, and Efof found it quite touching, although he hoped it would turn into a Fionian party at any moment, with everyone taking their clothes off and beginning the mass orgy before the buffet started. It was unlikely, though. He remembered the Queen's speech from a few days ago. It was pretty rousing stuff. He was all in favour of kicking some Hymenoptera ass. He still owed them a good kicking from when they destroyed his home planet. Every time he'd met them since, though, they'd always got the better of him. What he didn't understand about her speech, though, was that it was all well and good planning an attack on the Hymenoptera, but they didn't even know where the attack came from. They can't just launch an attack if they don't even know where the Hymenoptera are. They lived in massive colony spaceships that could move around the universe freely, and nobody had spotted any recently. Just then, someone tugged at his arm. He winced. "Hey, that's my arm that fell off. It's still not grown properly yet," he whispered. The person thrust a note into his hand, and when he turned around, they'd vanished into the crowd of other mourners. "Hey, wait, what's this?" He looked at the piece of paper. On it were some numbers. "What? I don't get it. These are just meaningless numbers." He held it up to the light to see if there was anything special about the paper. Just then, he felt a note being pushed into another one of his hands. "Wait!" When he turned around, there was nobody there. "It's a code," was written on the second note. "Oh," said Efof, and then looked again at the numbers. "I still don't get it. It looks complicated. I can't be bothered." Just then another note was put into his hand from an unseen person. "It's really easy," it said. Efof sighed. "It's still too hard for me. I better find someone who can read it." Justin Pancake exited the lift, covered head to toe with dirt, oil, and with singed hair from the explosion. He flopped down onto a seat in Parrot's bar and watched the team of engineers come closer. "Good work, but we need you to do something else," the tallest one said. "What? I've just got back. You could at least order me a pint," Justin said, shaking his head and letting the dust cover the round table. "There's a problem with the auxiliary—" "No way, man," said Justin. "I'm taking the rest of the day off. This is madness. You guys aren't even doing anything." He stormed off and walked down the promenade muttering to himself. He saw the off-licence and decided to buy a 6-pack of beer and take it home to relax. Still angry, he slammed his fists into the shop door, sending it flying backwards where it hit a woman in the face. "Oh, bollocks," he said, and saw the girl holding her nose, blood streaming from it. "Oh, smeggy bollocks." This podcast is a work of fiction and is in no way endorsed, approved, or even liked by the creators of Red Dwarf. For more stories and information, visit bluedwarf.co.uk.